25th of February today, and I replanted these tomatoes that were in here because they should have come up. So this might be a failure. I don't know. But anyway, they're replanted, and what I did is I went to the store and bought some. I got some cherry tomatoes and some Brandywine and something else called let's see if I can find it down here, delicious tomato. So I replanted them in here, and we'll see what happens, see if they come up. They should come up. They should come up within 10 days, but these didn't, and so I don't know what happened. But anyway, they're replanted now, and we'll see what happens. Well, a while ago I was planting some tomato seeds. If you remember, I was saving seeds, and then I put them in the water, and it all got mungy and gooey, and then I saved them. Anyway, I planted them in this flat here, and they didn't come up. At least I thought they didn't come up, and I think maybe it just took a little longer. And I put a few more seeds from a couple of seed packages in here later on that I bought in the store, and then I thought, well, at least I'll have something. But then they started coming up. Let me show you what I've got here. Now this just took longer than I thought, I suppose, because as you can see in some places there, I've nearly got a carpet of tomato plants. And see, there's even more still coming up, like right there. And you look along here, you can see there's still some sprouting, but there's hundreds of these plants now. And that's kind of what I need to do my little experiment with the canopy of tomato plants that I'm working on. And today, it's a few days later. I'll post how much later down there on the bottom of the screen. But you can see even now, they've grown so much more. This is just boy, I hate to throw these away. There's so many of them. There must be hundreds of them here. But, I got room for so many. Now, some of these, like this one here, here's one right here. Yeah, this one here is probably ready to be transplanted. Now see, I was able to pull that one out without damaging much, so we'll try that. What I'm going to do is try to do this, kind of one at a time until I get an entire set of these on both sides of the greenhouse. So we'll try to plant this one and see how it goes. Well, here's that little tomato plant, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich that between two layers of this material here. And what this is cut up swamp cooler batting. It works pretty well. So I'm going to cover that up like that, and then take one of these smaller net cups and squeeze it down in there so that the roots the water will come up to about here on this one. I put it in the floating raft, and the roots will get some water, and it'll start growing. Let me show you. See, I'm going to put it in here just like that. Let me get the camera and show you. And there it is. And you can see from looking at these other ones, see where the water level is. If you look very carefully down there, you can see the water level is up there. So the roots are in the water. Now I did another one here the other day, and this one I did with a little perlite, and it's growing just fine. And I did a couple more over here, and when they were smaller, and see, they're growing just fine too. So this is working. So what I'm going to do now is transplant all of those tomatoes all in this row next to the window, and have them grow up here like a canopy all across the top. Now, I'm not going to do that just yet because they're all a little bit too small. But I have some more. Let me show you. Now, if we go over to this side, you can see over here in this grow pipe where I've got the peas and things. These are volunteer tomatoes here. I think I've shown you these before. But you can see some of these are doing quite well. They've got secondary leaves on them already. Now here's one right here that's fairly big. Now you can't really pull these out because they're in the ground pretty solid. Now you can see I pulled that one and I tore the roots off. But tomatoes are so resilient that I can probably stick this in the water and it'll probably survive anyway, so I'm going to do that. But what I'm going to do here is let these all grow up a little more until they're maybe 4, 5, 6 inches tall, and then I'll just cut them like this, because tomatoes in water will reroot quite easily. Now this may not reroot quite easily because it's so young, but we'll try it and we'll see. Okay, now in order to try to save this little plant, what we're going to do is the same thing that we did before, but as you can see, I don't know if the camera will focus on that, but there's not much roots there. There's maybe a little bit. So we're going to put this between these two pieces of material here, like that. And we'll put it in the net cup. And then we'll put it down here, right next to the other one we just did. Let me show you. Okay, so this is the one we just planted, and it has good roots on it. This one is the one we just transplanted, and it doesn't have any roots on it. So we'll watch these for a couple of days and see how they do.